Oh, hi, Chloe. All right. Okay, it's 2:30. So welcome, beginning clarinet players. I hope that you're gonna have fun today at this video, and maybe we're gonna address some things that you already know how to play, um, but we're gonna do it in a different and fun way. So um, I hope that you'll comment along. So parents, if you're watching too, and at any point you have any questions, please use the chat on the right side. I can see it and answer questions live. That'll help make it a little bit more interactive, like we're having a class. But if you're watching this video afterward, you can use the comments below, the regular comments and videos, and ask questions, and we'll happily answer them later. It's just a little bit it works better if you can do it live. So hopefully you guys are using the live chat on the side panel. All right. So to get started here, everyone should have their clarinets together. And if you don't, go ahead and get them together really quickly. I want to go over how to put your reed on properly, because many of us maybe haven't even changed our reed yet. So if you still have some reeds in your case, you might want to think about changing the reed. I'm going to go over a couple of things that are useful for that. Okay, so take out just your mouthpiece with the reed and the ligature on there. Um, or if you're changing your reed, you can go ahead and change it now. All right. So what I have here is my mouthpiece separated from my reed and my ligature. Okay. Just in case maybe your reed is broken, so this will help you put it back on, put a new one on, or clean it if you feel like cleaning it. It's probably a really good idea to throw away old reeds, get some new reeds, or if you don't have any, what you can do is take this and put it in a small container with some mouthwash. Try to use unflavored mouthwash if you have it, but if you like the taste of your mouthwash, go ahead and dunk it in there for a little bit and then run it under some water. That's a good way to sanitize an older reed. Just be really careful with the tip right here. We don't want that to break, and then the reed is useless. So get a fresh reed, or go ahead and sanitize your current reed. You can do the same thing to your mouthpiece. Okay, just for clarinets, be really careful of this part, the cork. What I would do is, and I should have brought cork grease with me, but if you're going to go ahead and sanitize your mouthpiece or clean the inside, or just wipe it down, first put a layer of cork grease on the cork. That way, if it gets wet, the grease is going to repel the water, so you don't have to worry about water getting to the cork and then ruining the cork, because that's the only way that this mouthpiece fits together on our barrel. Okay, so assuming you've cleaned everything or you're putting a new reed on, let's go ahead and first get the reed nice and wet. So you're just going to put the first, the tip, the small part, in your mouth and get it a little wet, because a dry reed doesn't play as well as a wet reed does. Then we're going to put it on, and the table part of our mouthpiece here, I just want to make sure you can see clearly, the table part. Okay, see how there's like a little window? A lot of people think that they put the reed inside the window, and that doesn't really work. So instead, you just hold it flat like this, and you're just going to carefully place the reed on top, just like that. It should be a balancing act. Okay, and because it's a little wet, the reed will actually stay on there if you turn it sideways like this too. Then we're going to position it. You can kind of use the sides of the mouthpiece, the rails we call them, to guide the reed and make it, put it on straight. Okay. So when you're done with that, you're holding it just like this with your thumb and your fingers. We're going to slide our ligature over top. Now, my ligature looks different than your ligature, but there's one thing that's really important, and that's the screw. The screw on any ligature, maybe you have 2 screws, maybe you only have 1 screw. The screw always points to your right, which is my left, so this way. If you're looking at the mouthpiece like this, okay, I'm looking at the reed just like that in front of my face, okay, you're looking at like this. Then I put my ligature on carefully, and the way it should look is screws are always pointing this direction to the right as you're looking at it. Okay, yours are going to be in front, like directly on top of the reed, but mine's in the back. Still, the screw is pointing that way. If you put it on the opposite way, two things: it's not going to resonate as freely, and it could damage the reed. So you want to make sure that the screws are pointing the correct way also. Okay, and the last thing, it's super easy to adjust the reed. You want to make sure that when you're looking at the reed, you can see just a sliver of mouthpiece over top. Okay, I don't know if you can see this on my camera or not, but there you see just a little tiny sliver of the black mouthpiece over top, and then the same thing happens this way. It's kind of weird how it happens, but if you do it this way, you can see just a little tiny bit of the reed showing over top that way. That's how you know you got it perfect. And if you can see one way but not the other way, that means it's too high or too low, and you just want to adjust it. Okay, last thing, I hope there are parents watching because this part is for you. Sometimes woodwinds can sound really ugly, and that's not the player's fault. It's just our embouchure, it's our mouth muscles not being strong enough to produce the right sounds. So I'm going to show you how to fix that right now. Just on the mouthpiece, make sure the reed is wet. Okay, we're just going to put the mouthpiece in our mouth like we're playing the clarinet. So you kind of have to imagine a clarinet going down just like this. We don't blow out this way. The clarinet's not going straight out like this. It goes straight down in front of your body. In fact, here's my clarinet. It should be the same as playing. Okay, down like this, straight down, not out here. All right, so if we take the mouthpiece out and just blow that note, you're going to get one of many different sounds. Okay, here's mine. Okay, and if your note sounds like mine, that means you have a really good embouchure. You've been playing all year, you've been putting in a lot of practice, and your mouth muscles are nice and strong. Your mouthpiece might come out sounding like this. A little bit lower or kind of sporadic and all over the place. So what I want you to do is every time you play your clarinet, first play on the mouthpiece. This is also going to help make sure that you can play, that you've got your reed on properly if you play just the mouthpiece. And I guarantee if you do this every single day for like 2 weeks, your clarinet is going to sound way better. It's going to sound more lyrical, like we like the clarinets to be. Okay, Leonore says that she still can't build it. I think you're talking about the mouthpiece. So let me go over that one more time with you. It's also at the beginning of the video, but here's a quick one. Okay, let me disassemble it here. So first things first, hold it nice and flat. Make sure it's a little wet, not too wet. We're not slobbering on it, just a little moist. That way, when you put it on, it sticks to the mouthpiece just a little bit. And then we're just placing it nice and flat on the mouthpiece, just like that. I'll show you again. Front view, it just goes right on top. It doesn't go inside that window like that. That's the wrong way. Right on top, like that, okay? And then you're just gonna hold it between your thumb and your finger, just like that, okay? Put the ligature carefully over, don't wanna break the tip of the reed too, and push it down, down below on the mouthpiece, tighten your screw, and again, your right hand, my left hand, this is your right hand, should be tightening that screw, okay? So off to the side, just like that, okay? So if you're still having trouble, I'll link a different video, or you can replay this video and watch me again. So let's move on, put your clarinet together. We're gonna do this 5-note warm-up that I have written here on the side. You can all see it. If it's not clear, if it's not crystal clear on your connection, down below in the description, you can click on the warm-up link and it'll pull it up in a different window, and then you can zoom in on it if you want. But let's do these notes actually backwards. I should have wrote it backwards, but you can read backwards. So instead of going C, D, E, F, G, we're going to go backwards. G, F, E, D, C. And most of you have been playing for quite a while, so you probably can figure out why we're doing it this way. G doesn't require any fingers. So just play an open G with me, play your clarinet with me, and make sure your G sounds nice and full. 4 beats. 1, 2, ready, go. All right. Going down, we're going to cover one hole at a time. So F, our thumb right here. Let's play an F for 4 beats. 1, 2, ready, play. Very nice. Keep on going. Leave that first finger, or sorry, leave your thumb down. That's our F finger. Put the first finger on this side, the very first hole at the top of the clarinet. We're going to pinch and play E. Ready? E. E is an egg. 1, 2, ready, go. Nice. Okay, this is where it gets a little tricky. The more fingers we add, the more we have to make sure that we're covering the holes. So I like to tell my clarinet students, flat fingers, okay? So your fingers on the clarinet are flat. They're not curved like this. If you curve them, they're never going to be able to cover all the holes properly. So you got to use flat fingers. So here's my clarinet close up playing D. I'm using flat fingers. See how my fingers are nice and flat on the side? They're not curved, because what happens is they come off the holes and then we squeak. Okay, nice and flat fingers. Let's play D. So thumb, first finger pinch, second hole covered. Ready? Cover that open hole. D. 1, 2, ready, go. Nice job. Okay, the last one, C, and you'll see also that there's a key in between the C finger and the D finger. Try not to hit that key by accident. It's pretty difficult because you guys have smaller fingers than I do, but if you find yourself resting on that finger, just position your hand. Flat fingers on a C, first, second, third holes, and the thumb. Ready? 1, 2, ready, go. Nice. So does your instrument sound like mine? If your fingers are in the right spot and you're blowing with the right embouchure, you're doing everything correctly, then they should sound the same. But if it doesn't, if it sounds like maybe yours is a little bit too low, that's where we got to go back to our mouthpiece and get that note to sound really, really high instead of down low like that. All right, so let's play something today. I'm going to pull up a different piece of music here. Let me pull that up for you. If you have your blue books on hand, go ahead and open them to page 14. We're going to do the 8th note slide, and if we have time, maybe the Cabbage song too. Hey Chloe, yeah, we're not going to do Harry Potter in this lesson. We might do it in a future lesson, but there will actually be a Harry Potter video on the YouTube channel, so go ahead and check that out. It'll be a really in-depth where you can learn how to play Harry Potter, the full piece, with the backing track too. All right, so today we're doing 8th note slide. Check out the notes in 8th note slide really quickly. What are they? F, E, D, and C. So the only note we're missing from the warm-up is that note G, the open G. The first line, we're just adding fingers the whole time. F, thumb, add a finger, E, add another finger, D, add another finger, C. Okay? And then the second line is in reverse. So removing a finger, get back to D, remove it, E, back to the thumb. Nice. And if I just so happen to be your teacher at school, we may have already played the 8th note slide this way, but I'm going to show you near the end of the video a really fun way to play 8th note slide, and we're actually going to hold a live contest. But I'll tell you about that in a second. All right, let's play the 8th note slide. The very first line, we have quarter notes and 8th notes. Remember quarter notes? They're just like counting. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Just like that. You heard me say 3 and just now. I'll say it again. 3 and 4. Those are 8th notes. So we're going to fit 2 notes inside the number that we're saying. Okay, so why don't we count a couple of 8th notes? Count with me. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Pretty good. So if you got the snapping down too, that's a bonus because you're snapping quarter notes and saying the 8th note. So that means you really got a good handle on it. Okay, so for 8th note slide, the very first measure quarter note, eighth, eighth, quarter note, eighth, eighth. We're only going to do the eighth notes on beats 2 and 4. So beats 1 and 3, we're not going to say and, we're just saying 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. Okay? The entire song, you're really only going to see the eighth notes on beat 2 or beat 4. Beats 1, beats 3, and occasionally beats 4 are going to be the quarter note beats. Why don't we try line 1? Okay, the whole thing. So F, 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 E, 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 D, 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 C. Ready? Nice and slowly. 1, 2, and ready. Go. Pretty good. So if you can play that much, the rest of the song we're just doing in reverse. Okay? D, 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 E, E, F, 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 F. Let's try line 2. Okay? Quarter note, eighth notes. 1, 2, and ready. Go. That last note is a half note, so make sure to hold it for 2 beats. There's actually no fermata over there either, so I know sometimes you want to play that note forever. It's only 2 beats, and you cut off right at the end. Okay, shall we do the whole thing? I'll count you off. Let's play the whole thing together. Make sure you're getting the right notes. F, first thumb, second finger, E, third finger, sorry, let's reset. Thumb, F, first finger, E, second finger, D, third finger, C. Okay? Ready? The whole song, eighth note slide, let's play together. And then I have a really fun way of playing this song. Let's try it. 1, 2, and ready, go. Very nice. Okay, so maybe over the next week you can practice the eighth note slide, see if you can get all the notes right. If they're sounding good and you can already play the eighth note slide, then you're ready for this next part, which is my favorite way to play the eighth note slide. So again, if you have me as a regular music teacher, maybe we've gone over this before, but do you know what a call and response is? It's kind of like that, where I would say something and you would say something back to me. But the thing that you say back to me is supposed to be the same, so everybody knows how to say it. The eighth note slide is kind of like a call and a response. If you think of the first line as the call, where I would be saying something, the second line is the response, where you, the students, would say something back to me. All right? The way we're going to do this, actually, here's an example. Bop, 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 bop. So you should have went bum, bum, if you know that call and response. It's bop, 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 bum, bum, all together. So yeah, that's a call and a response. So for eighth note slide, the way we're going to do this is the person, it's going to be me for now, but hopefully one of you will also be able to do it. The person doing the call, the first line, gets to set the tempo, which means they get to play it as fast or slow or super duper fast or really, really slow as they want, okay? And then everybody else who's playing eighth note slide is waiting for them to finish line 1 so that we can all play line 2 together at their tempo, okay? So if I decide to do it really slow, kind of like this, you all have to play line 2 the same tempo. Okay, so you're thinking in your head the quarter note just like I played at the beginning. Now, if I were to change the tempo, and I'm not going to tell you if I'm going to go faster or slower or super duper fast or super duper slow. If I were to change the tempo, The only way you know what tempo I'm playing is by listening to how fast I'm doing it. That means you also have to play line 2 that fast. Okay, so here's me doing it a different tempo. I'll do the first line, and then you play the second line back to me, just for practice. Here we go. Sorry, wrong first note. Here we go. Ready? Nice. So I did it a little bit faster, not lightning speed. I could do it much faster, but you got to listen for that tempo. Okay. All right. So here's what we're going to do. If you want to be included in this contest, next week we're gonna see. Sorry, let me restart that and say it again a different way. This week, practice the eighth note slide. Get it really, really good. Make sure all the notes are right and all the rhythms are right. And then try and speed it up and see how fast you can play. And then you're going to send it back to me in a video. You can ask your parents' permission if they upload it to their YouTube. Share it with me that way. Or the easy way is just to record a video and share it with us via email. You can email it or put it in like Google Drive or Dropbox and email us that link. Go ahead and record your fastest speed on eighth note slide, and all the notes have to be correct, the right notes, the right rhythms, and the speed has to be consistent too. So we're not starting out fast and getting slower. We're not starting out slower and getting faster. It has to be the same throughout. Okay. So record both lines and send it to me through email. Okay. Then we'll pick the fastest winner, and as long as you're okay with it, we'll feature you on the video next time, and we'll all play eighth note slide your tempo. How does that sound? Okay, so before we move on, just looking through here, I don't think we have any new questions. Okay, oh, for orchestra, if schools are not open, then we won't have orchestra. That's why we're doing the live videos. Okay, so just check and make sure your school, if your school opens, then we'll be there. But if they're still not open, then tune into the live videos instead. So we're still getting orchestra handled. Thanks, Chloe. Okay, anyone else have questions? Let's try Cabbage Song. Cabbage Song, we're actually going to also do a contest for. So the notes in Cabbage Song, not too different from eighth note slide. Okay, but you'll notice that there are a ton of eighth notes. See the eighth notes that are stemmed together? There's 4 eighth notes under one bar. Doesn't mean it's any faster or slower. It just means that we're going to see 4 of them grouped together. If I took the eighth notes up in eighth note slide, in the first measure, the F's and the E's, and I smash them together, they would be connected. So there'd be 4 eighth notes. But we're still going to count them 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. And then the second line, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Good. The only other thing you need to worry about in Cabbage Song is the very last measure has a repeat sign. Okay, and if you don't know what a repeat sign is, my favorite way of explaining the repeat sign is it's like a trampoline, but it's the world's worst trampoline. Maybe you got it on HGTV, if your parents know what that is, or GSN, the TV advertisements, where it looks really cool on TV, but then when you get it, it doesn't quite work out. Or Amazon trampoline. Maybe you jump on it one time and it breaks. So that's the idea with the repeat sign, is that it actually is the world's worst trampoline. It bounces you all the way back to the beginning of the piece of music or to another repeat sign, okay? But it's broken. So once you use it, it's broken. That means you can walk right through it and move on to the next line, or in this case, you just end the music because there's no more music. Okay, so the repeat sign isn't forever. It's not the world's greatest trampoline. It's just a cheap one, and it breaks after the first try. All right. Let's play the Cabbage Song one time. We'll go nice and slowly, and of course you can replay the video a couple of times if you want another run through the Cabbage Song. Here we go. It goes starting on an E, F, E, D, E, F, E, D, C. So we're just moving note by note. Okay, here we go. 1 and 2 and cabbage song, play. Repeat. Nice job. Okay, so does anyone else have any questions? The the contests. There's going to be 2 contests. Maybe you win them both. Maybe you win one of them. The 8th note slide contest, record it at your fastest tempo or your favorite tempo. If you want to record a super duper slow one, we can maybe feature that one too on 8th note slide. Cabbage song, the contest is going to be for the fastest cabbage song player. So both of them, if you want to record a super fast cabbage song, a super fast 8th note slide, but make sure that it's the same tempo throughout and make sure all of your notes are correct. That's what we're going to be judging to make sure that the winner has the best video. Okay, and then you're going to email that to us. I think the email address is homework@theorchestraplace.com, or you can share YouTube video if your parents say yes, I'll put it up on YouTube, then you can share that. If you don't want to do that, that's totally fine. Put it in Google Drive and share it with us, or Dropbox, whatever you use to send video files. If you know how to make it into a zip file, meaning compress it and send it in an email, that'll work fine too. Or just attach the video to the email. All right, so I don't think there's any other questions. Thanks so much for watching. Next week we're going to jump into some other songs. So please send me those videos, okay? I want to see just how fast you can play those songs, and maybe we'll pick the winner. All right, bye guys. Happy practicing.